Kenny Green, raw perspective, concrete and steel, keeping it good and raw. Unity for the community, always. Hey, check this out. You know, a lot of times with my channel, I'm over here today, I'm over there tomorrow. But the main thing is informing and communicating with you guys. So hit those subscribes, man. Today, I want to discuss deed theft, right? And it's a lot going on with this. And people got to understand, a lot of elderly people are at risk of their houses being taken away from them. There's a couple of ways that this is happening. Sometimes you get these realtors and investors, and they look at your paperwork. Because remember, all of this is public. All this data is public. A person can look and see, you know, what your deed look like, if there's weak spots in it. And what they do, they become predatory and they go in for the kill. You know, it could be behind in your taxes. It's just different things, water liens. So that's one way. Also, they just steal it. They just add their name to your situation and try to take it from you. How often do you look at your deed? And a lot of times having a mortgage, the mortgage company is the first lien holder. It's a lot going on with, especially say, I just seen a news clip about Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. For those who you don't know, a lot of in the black areas, they own these properties for a long time. I'm talking about early 1900s brownstones that are now worth $2, $3, $4, $5 million.
All day on Tuesday, neighbors, activists, and family members have been at this home, they say, to protect it as part of a larger movement that can be summed up in 3 words. Stop deed theft. It's on a sign at this brownstone on Jefferson Street, and in order to be true to those words regarding the home her family's owned for 3 generations, Carmela Charrington has paid a big price.
It's just like bananas.
William McFadden talks about his mother, who owns the multifamily home, who's now in jail on Rikers Island. The reasons are complicated, but according to her family, it's the latest chapter in her ongoing fight to save her home from deed theft. You first met Carmela Charrington last year.
All parties did not do legally what they were supposed to do.
She was helping another Brooklyn resident keep his home from alleged deed theft after she successfully fought this. A developer called the 227 Group tried to change her locks and seize her property last year. We've not been able to reach the developer, but Charrington disputed them and won, arguing in court that she had control of the property granted to her by her father, whose name is on the deed, and for whom she has power of attorney and provides care for him at this home. However,
I shouldn't have to wake up to a row of officers outside saying, you know, we need to come in and we're going to come and search the whole house.
He's talking about this scene on Tuesday morning where sheriff's deputies were called to the home in search of Charrington's father, who was not at home at the time. His grandson and baby great-grandson were there, as was a cousin who took the photo. It all may result in an eviction, but both activists and the family say they're staying put.
We hope that she can just come home and just enjoy.
They're not getting in. They're not getting in. I have to protect my home.
The big issue, that grandfather has his name on the deed here and on a property in Atlanta, and there's an ongoing legal dispute. As for Ms. Charrington, her family and activists hope to get her out of jail by Wednesday, which may be the same day that there is a potential eviction. We will definitely stay on top of this story as it continues to unfold.
And some of these homes are free and clear, no mortgage. So it's a sweet spot for people to say, oh, this person's 83 years old. Let's look at their paperwork. Think about it. When you're a certain age, you're not really looking at something. So if you don't have young people or older people that know how to maybe check things every now and then, they have something called deed alert. When any changes to your deed, they alert you. They alert you that something was added, something was done. And I say this because we need to put protection around ourselves. I seen deed fraud in Detroit. I seen it in Atlanta. And In some of these states, when you're tax delinquent, someone can buy your taxes, pay them for you, and now you owe them. But if you don't deal with that tax burden in a certain amount of time, they can put in inquiries and paperwork to try to take that residence over now.
If you own your home free and clear, listen very carefully, because two things happening right now could cost you everything. The first is deed theft. Criminals are forging documents, faking signatures, and filing fraudulent paperwork with county offices to transfer your home into someone else's name without you ever knowing. Once that fake deed is recorded, they can sell your house, take out loans against it, or open a line of credit using your equity. And by the time you find out, reversing it can cost you $50,000 to $150,000 in legal fees and take years to fight. The second threat is one most people never see coming, and in some ways, it's even more dangerous. A utility company can place a lien on your home for an unpaid water bill and foreclose on it, the same way a bank forecloses on a missed mortgage. But here's where it gets predatory. Cities and municipalities sometimes sell that debt to private investors who pile on interest and fees until you can't pay. A woman in Baltimore lost her fully paid off home to an investor over a $362 water bill. 1 in 5 of these liens involves amounts of $1,000 or less. And in some states, that water lien takes priority over even your mortgage. They can start the process before you even know there's a problem. So check your deed at your county clerk's office. Make sure it still has your name on it. And make sure every bill tied to that property is current, because your home being paid off doesn't protect you. In fact, that's exactly what makes you a target.
So be aware, be diligent in your checking of your affairs. And when you have older family members or friends, or not even, I say older because a lot of times those are the people that they prey on, right? But anyone, get in the habit of maybe every 6 months, every 12 months, check your affairs, because it's important too, because people are stealing out here. There's a lot of fraud out here, and we have to protect the elderly, because a lot of people, real estate is where their wealth is at. Now, that woman fought for her house and her neighbor's house. She was locked up. Now, this is a scenario we couldn't even imagine, but it's real and it's happening. So in New York City, the new mayor, Madani, rapidly created a task force, a thing that will protect and help fight and expose some of this deed fraud. But in other places, it's not happening. So you have to make it on yourself to do what you have to do for yourself, concrete and steel.